So we put out that video the other day about the TV ads and the historic TV ads, and it caused a lot of comments and things. Yeah, 20 years of television ads. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of questions about how you got started in TV and how that path went. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, I got some messages from other brokers and asking me, how did that work? Would it still work today? I say, not really. Then they're like, yeah, but you're still doing it. So then they think I might be BSing them. But it's quite a story when I think back. I mean, I was 25 years old and I had a business partner, great guy, John, and we were just trying to figure out a way to produce tons of leads. One thing we both were in agreement on is we needed to produce leads. And we started following Craig Proctor, who's one of the greatest real estate coaches and trainers ever in the business. And he was the one, my ex-business partner, John, that turned me on to Craig. And then I went in November 2005 out to Palm Desert, California, to the JW Marriott out there, and beautiful place. And Craig had a conference. It was like 2,000 people there. It was crazy. And the conference was awesome. I learned a ton, but I got lucky one morning. There were so many people that breakfast restaurant, I've told the story before, was like totally overwhelmed. And the hostess, being proactive, walked out along the line and said, who's willing to eat breakfast with other people? And I'm like, well, I don't know anybody. Okay, I will.
Yeah.
So she takes me and brings me literally to the back of the restaurant, and there's already someone sitting there. This guy I'd never met in my life, never seen him. And she says, you know, sit here. And I said, hi, I'm Anthony. Hi, I'm Jeff.
Yeah.
And that was someone who's a dear friend today. I don't see him enough, but I still consider him a dear friend. I'd do anything for him. And he says, I'm Jeff Willems, and I'm in Tucson, Arizona. So I got lucky. We both sat down. He had just sat down. We went and got a buffet. We come back, we're talking. And he's telling me, like, he's totally full of energy, this guy. Like, it was like my older twin, right?
I was going to say, more than you?
Maybe. I mean, he to this day, like, he's a quick talker. But I was enamored by the fact that his wife, Marcy, who he was telling me about, was doing television ads. And they were fairly new to the business because he was a mortgage guy. So, I mean, just imagine, 25 years old, sitting across from someone probably 15 years older at the time, eating breakfast, and I'm obviously asking lots of questions.
Yeah.
And he's explaining how they started doing television ads, and they do a program. They were doing a program, if we don't sell your home in 59 days, we'll buy it. And I'm, of course, like, you'll buy it? Well, how many have you bought? And what's the criteria? And I'm losing my mind.
Weeds about
I'm losing my mind asking all these questions. And that was it. Breakfast ended. You know, we took care of the bill, shook hands. He went my way. I went my way. He went his. The next morning, Craig invites his wife on the stage. So I see Marcy walk up. I'm like, oh, my God. The story she's telling.
That's the wife that he was talking about. Yeah.
And then if I remember right, I think Jeff went up too, and they start telling the story and about how television ads are working. And I'm like, wow, this is super interesting. And I'm sitting in the crowd, brand new. I barely know. By the third day of the conference, I think I knew 5 people. Yeah. Like, you know, it was nothing like nowadays. So I leave. I have tons of notes. I'm like, it kind of logged in the back of my head. That's November of 2005. January 2006, I'm still at RE/MAX. Okay, a RE/MAX agent, great company. I opened the RE/MAX Times one day. The RE/MAX used to put out an awesome newspaper every single month. I've actually thought of doing it here. I think I've told you that.
Yeah, we have.
I want to create the Lamacchia Times.
Yeah.
They would put out the RE/MAX Times every month to all their agents internationally, and I would read it cover to cover. Well, it comes in the mail, and who's on the front page in January or late January? Marcy Willems. Arms folded like this. RE/MAX Rookie of the Year. Credits television.
Wow.
I wish I kept it. I'm like, oh my God, I met her husband. So I don't remember what I did. I think I called him. And, well, I know we emailed or something, but I called him. I definitely spoke to him on the phone. He's like, hey, if you want to learn to do it, just come out here. You can see what we're doing. You can film here. I'll connect you with my TV agency.
That's awesome.
Like, he was so gracious. Like he made it sound like it was nothing. And I'm like, So John and I go back and forth, end up flying out there in May of 2006. And we get there. And Jeff is like, okay, so do you have a script? No. What's your website address? We're like, micklam.com.
Yeah.
It couldn't have possibly been a worse website address. Okay, and how do you guys plan to, like, how many days do you want to do? Do you want to do the guaranteed sale? We meet this guy, Alan Alexander, I remember was his name, and I hope he sees this video. He was a like TV ad buyer, really nice guy. And over the course of about an hour and a half, we discussed like what to do, and then, or I don't know, Jeff and I and Marcy or something, we did dinner. Then that night, John and I, and John came up with Sold in 70 Days. That was him. And then the next day, we get there to Alan, we sort out the ad, we sort out the scripts, we film. We were horrendous on television. I mean,
well, maybe we can insert the clips right now.
Well, look at this. Go ahead, look.
Yeah, go look. It's.
In today's market, hiring the right realtor is more important than ever. You need a realtor with a proven track record for getting results. Hi, I'm Anthony Lamacchia.
And I'm John McGeough.
When you take advantage of our guaranteed sale program, we guarantee to sell your home at your price in under 70 days, or we'll step in and buy it ourselves.
If you're not happy, fire us.
Horrendous. Horrendous.
Everyone starts somewhere.
But here's the thing. We struck gold in the sense of our timing.
Yeah.
The timing, and I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't understand that, at that time there were 40,000, or maybe at that time in mid-06, 35,000 homes for sale in Massachusetts. Today there's 13,000, okay? Fast forward a year, we get to 2007, there's 40,000 homes for sale. We get to the financial crisis, late 07, 08, there's 45,000. Well, there was tons of sellers, and there was tons of desperate sellers who needed to sell for financial reasons. So I didn't understand it, I didn't appreciate it, I didn't get it at the time.
So for someone who maybe is outside of our market, never saw these TV ads, wasn't in his market to see his ads, explain the program a little bit, just like overarching.
Sure. Well, and you know what? I should credit someone else, Jay Kinder. Okay, Jay Kinder was at Coldwell Banker at the time in Lawton, Oklahoma. Now he's a bigwig with EXP. He was one of the originals. He works with a bunch of friends of mine. He's a friend of mine. But I called Jay before going up to see Jeff, and I had met Jay in Palm Desert, and Jay's like, don't overthink it. It's a program. It's a criteria, right? And he explained it to me, and then it wasn't that big a deal when it came down to it. We created a contract that said, okay, we'll guarantee your house if you'll list at this price, and if it doesn't sell, you agree to adjust to that price and that price. So it was a strict criteria, as it should be, or guaranteed to sell their home, and then they have a choice of whether to take advantage of the program or not. They don't want to take advantage of it, they don't have to. And of course, in the beginning, we were like overly strict. And then as the years went on, like we loosened up, and then we actually bought a couple homes. But it was very specific. If we don't sell your home in 70 days, we'll buy it. Here's the original list price. If it doesn't sell, you agree to adjust. Maybe it was a 5% adjustment or 8%. Doesn't sell, you'll make another adjustment. And probably only 10% of the people we met with actually signed up for the program. So we were getting, no joke.
You were getting the rest of them just as normal listings.
There you go.
Yeah.
We were getting most of the rest.
Yeah.
And we started out with $6,000 spend a month. And to us, that was like, oh my God. I mean, now we spend that a morning. You oversee it, and you and Cole. So we spent the money. The first lead we ever got was in Nova Scotia, Canada.
Yeah.
Sarah comes running out my back door. I'm outside doing yard work on a Saturday. She's upstairs working, because remember, we had a home office at the time, and luckily Sarah, my wife, are everybody's friends, so that wasn't awkward. But Sarah comes running out the back door and says, Anthony, we got our first lead. I'm like, wow, cool, where? She goes, Nova Scotia, Canada. I'm like, great. I had no idea. Channel 5, the ABC affiliate here in Boston, they somehow have a line to Nova Scotia. So that was
Did you call that lead?
No. She told them we didn't serve there, and it was over. But then we got more locally, and then it just snowballed, and we just kept at it, and it produced a lot of leads and a lot of qualified leads. And I was going out on these listing appointments. John was going out. We were hustling. And we were fumbling the ball. We weren't good at it. I look back, there's so many more listings I could have signed up, but we signed up enough. We signed up enough to pay for it. We signed up enough to, start to really build a brand.
Yeah.
And then about 3 years in, 2 years in, 2.5, things started to change. People started being upside down on their homes, or nearly upside down. And then we were like, oh, we're not doing short sales. And then after 6 months, we're like, wait a second. We should do short sales.
Yeah.
We do short sales, we'll have a niche. And it was not the easiest sales. The prices tended to be lower. The sellers were in a tough spot. Sellers were grumpy, but we did almost 2,000 of them.
But what was the strategy on TV at that point? Were you now shifted. Going away from the
So we stuck with Sold in 70 Days from really, mostly from 2006 to 2012 was Sold in 70 Days running at some point. 2009 and 10, we started throwing in some branding ads. You want to sell, call McGeough, Lamacchia.
There was one with a Marco Polo or something?
Yeah, that was years later with Barry. But we also started doing short sale ads. And when I look back, I was way overly aggressive on those short sale ads. They worked. They made the phone ring. It was great for 2 years. But it hurt our brand a bit, and that was an era. And you know this.
Yeah,
we've talked about it.
That's the drawback to going too heavily in one message.
One thing,
period.
yes.
Is that eventually you could burn that message.
No, and we don't do that anymore.
Yep.
And I was on there. If you can't afford your home, if you're upside down on your home, your bank's not working with you, we'll short sell your home. You can save your credit. We ran that ad like crazy in 2011 and 12, and yes, we produced a ton of sales. We produced a ton of money. Mm-hmm. I mean, it bankrolled basically what I did with converting us to a brokerage model, but if I had to do it over again, I would have taken that down a couple notches and just not gone as hard.
And I think the other thing that was interesting about that, it wasn't just we became known for that with clients.
Yes.
And they thought that's all that you did, but it was the realtors side.
The realtors were worse.
That was way worse.
The realtors were worse. There's no question. I started going to realtor events 2011, late 2010. When I started advocating in Washington, D.C. for homeowners in foreclosure, homeowners needing short sales, and pushing regulators and lawmakers in D.C. to push short sales. And I realized, I'd bump into realtors and they'd be like, oh, you're the short sale guy. And I'm like, have you looked at my sales? 2009, whoever's watching, go look. We did a few hundred sales and maybe 120 was short sales.
Yeah.
Right, I remember 11, it was like 60%. There was one year where it was like a lot.
Yeah.
But even that 60%, there were 300 regular sales or 200 or whatever the number.
Yeah.
So my point is, the realtors really pushed that.
Yeah.
But hey, that's competition, that's capitalism. And I should have been smarter. We should have been more careful. And when we realized that, 2012 was our last year doing short sales. 2013, we backed off. We completely shut down the short sale ad by 2012 when I realized that. Started doing branding ads. Then, I can't remember, you come along in 2015 or 16?
2016, but like January of 2016.
So the year before you came, we ran sold in 32 days or we'll sell it for free.
Yes.
That was the second time we had a hit on TV. It was not as big as sold in 70 days.
Yeah.
But it was up there. Mm-hmm. And I remember I brought my daughter for ski lessons one Sunday morning and my phone was going, because I'm checking emails, bing, 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 bing. And for those that remember, the fall of 14 was a bad fall for real estate. The whole tantrum, whatever you call it, tantrum for the Federal Reserve backing off the buying of mortgage-backed securities. And they said they were going to taper it down. So everybody called it the taper tantrum. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So when they did that, mortgage rates went up in the fall of 14. That's also when I bought out my business partner, John.
Bad timing.
I buy him out. We have a horrible fall. Then, if you remember, that was the year we had all the snow. Everybody was stuck in. Snowmageddon. We had 121 inches in, I don't know,
that was the worst.
3 months or something. It was insane.
Yeah.
But it made real estate really slow. I went on TV with an ad. If I don't sell your home in 32 days, I'll sell it for free. And what was everybody doing that whole winter with the snow?
They were all watching TV and watching the news.
So that was a hit. That was really, that's the second best hit we've ever had.
Yeah.
And we got hundreds and hundreds. I mean, there was a Sunday morning that we must have got 50 leads from motivated sellers on a Sunday morning. I mean, think about realtors that are listening. That's every realtor's dream. And by that time, we had things dialed in. Dave and Mike had years on the road. Jackie, our COO now, Kim, Sarah, Angela. We were already years into it. So the machine was built and we nailed it. I mean, we did, I don't know the numbers, but it was something like we spent, I don't know, maybe $200,000 that winter on television ads, and we brought in over $3 million in commissions. So those were the days. Those were the good old days.
You got to spend it to make it, but you also, what you did was test things out for a while had a system that you already had, and then you went heavy into it once you knew it was working.
Correct, and then it was right after that we converted the company to a brokerage model. We did remember we tried sold by Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Sold by Thanksgiving.
Sold by 20,
stupidest thing. I look back.
2019.
I look back at some of the stuff we did. I'm like, God, is that cheesy? It's terrible.
Yeah.
Didn't help me in the sense of building a brokerage model, but it did in the sense of branding. Like everything I'm talking about helped us build the brand.
Yep.
And we made some mistakes along the way, but listen, if I was starting today, I do not think, if I was brand new today, 25 years old, in 20 years, I would not have the brand that we have now if I started today, because inventory's been too low, the television ads won't work, nearly as well. We can't fund it because we can't produce enough leads.
Yeah.
So people ask me, and that's what's happened in the last 2 weeks to both of us, but you still run them. Yeah, we run them, but we run them at a
it's branding.
Smaller schedule, branding schedule. We run billboards. We do things at, sports and entertainment centers. We do postcards, but it's not like that. And that is what built the brand, because one thing that persisted in every single ad we ever did was Lamacchia.
Yep.
Lamacchia, 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 Lamacchia.
As my husband always says.
Yeah, Lamacchia, right?
Lamacchia.
So that, when I look back, I'm like, holy Jesus, I was lucky.
Yeah.
My timing was so lucky. I mean, today there's 13,000 homes for sale in Massachusetts. It's not nearly enough to make the phone explode from TV. 3 years ago, we had 6,000 homes for sale in the winter. It's not enough. So for those that are watching, competitors that wonder how we do it, that's the truth.
Yeah.
If I started today, if I was 25 years old today, which part of me wishes I was, in 20 years, our brand wouldn't be what it is if I didn't start at that time. I struck gold at the right time. I got lucky meeting Jeff. There were others doing the program. I learned after that Jeff wasn't the only one doing a guaranteed sale. Yeah. So eventually I would have figured it out, but meeting Jeff was lucky. Yep. Doing television was lucky. Having a business partner that was willing to take chances with me was lucky. There were a lot of things that fell in place that made us what we are today. When we find something that works, we hit the gas hard. Yep. The only difference between now and years ago, you know this, Brandon knows this, I'm a little more thoughtful on, do I want us to get branded as this?
Yes.
Take the Florida ad, for example. The Florida ad with me in the pool down there, floating in the pool. I mean, that thing, it's the most talked about television ad we've, I think, ever done.
Yeah.
Years ago, Sold in 70 Days was the most talked about.
Yeah.
But that Florida ad with me floating in the pool, nothing has created more talk than that.
I never in my career when I started thought that I would be pushing you in a suit, half suit, in a pool on a float. I never thought that's what
that was so fun. And I thought you were going to fall in. Getting Barry involved, when was that? 13, 14 years ago. Yeah. He really helped take our ads to the next level. And that's also when HD became a thing.
Yep.
Right? And he was, and we would tell him, well, this is before you, but we would tell him, and then when you came along, we'd tell him, we kind of damaged the brand a little bit. I had short sales and this and that. And when he would hear that feedback, he'd say, well, hold on. First of all, you need to one take these ads, you're good enough. That was the first thing, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, it was before you. But he would say, you got to one take them. You don't need to do 7 takes and do green screen. I want you on camera with a nice background and do the damn ad. And we would do it over and over. Now, I do ads in 2-3 tries, but it was those days I was newer.
Yeah.
And that helped a lot.
Yeah.
And you coming along, I mean, you've been the best addition that we've had with marketing as a whole, and you were great with television and everything. And TV affected everything. It affected everything. The Crush It in Real Estate page. I remember when we started, and John asked you guys, I knew you'd do good, but this is like off the charts. And we were like, yeah, well, there's a little bit of a TV celebrity.
We had a little backing to it.
Factor that's contributing here, and that's the thing. So, to the business owners wondering, that's the story. If you're in a business where you can produce tons of leads, go for it, because the medium of television works. I mean, there's no question. It's just what we've dealt with for the last 7 years is there's just not enough sellers.
Yeah.
There's just not enough. But I think someday there'll be enough again.
And if you want to build your brand and get your name out there,
you got to spend money.
Then do it.
I mean, and you have to take chances, and that's what we do here.
Nice.
So thank you to everyone that's contributed all of these years, because you helped me make it happen.